Hi, Alexandra and Sheridan. We
Hi.
are so excited to meet you two, but we're so sad to see your journey on The Amazing Race cut so short. How was it living it back and rewatching the premiere last night?
It was kind of cool and also like sad.
It was like definitely a mix of like excited and nervous.
When we saw the intro, like, I mean, we knew we were going to be in the intro. Like, it was just even cool to see us in that. I was like,
Not just ironically, but yeah.
First in, first out, FIFO.
Yes.
I loved your little like.
Yes.
We've like, imagined doing that for years, like growing up, and whenever we take like a trip together, if we were somewhere cool, like we do like our pose and like, just so surreal to have that opportunity.
When we did that pose, never in a million years did we think A, we'd actually be on the show, and B, if we were, that we'd be like that's even like, how did this all even happen?
I mean, from one super fan to y'all, like you guys were an absolute joy to watch, even though we got only a little bit of time with you two, because we could see just how much you really appreciated the experience and loved being there. So I want to go back to the starting line. When you were finally lined up there with the 12 other teams in front of the iconic Hollywood sign and Phil right in front of you, what was going through your mind in that moment?
I think I said it when I introduced ourselves. Like, I could not believe like we were there. We've watched Phil say the world is waiting, from the couch, like on the TV, and he was in front of us saying it to us. Like,
also, I think I was like, okay, we really, really, really made it on, because like even in that week before, I was nervous, like, oh my gosh, they're like when we're not supposed to talk like to the other contestants. Sheridan, like, I was afraid we were going to get in trouble because he wanted to talk. I was like, they're going to bring in the alternates. They're going to bring in the alternates.
Every time I opened my mouth, we kept being like, oh my God, are they going to get the alternates out or something?
and you never know, like, something could happen. But once we made it, like, to that starting line, I was like, all right, like, we're here.
And I'm sure for Amazing Race, it's being the first time there's been 13 teams at the starting line. I'm sure it was very unnerving and intimidating with how many there were. I had a question come in on Twitter from Ben Motes, who asked, which teams were you the most intimidated by at the starting line?
Joe and Ian.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah. And I think also like Todd and Ashley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they're tall, right? Like he's 6'7", she's like 6'2".
6'7"?
He's taller than you, baby. He got you beat.
Wait, what?
When we did see the 13 teams, though, we were nervous about a season 15s start line elimination where I didn't know, because like, oh, they got 13, maybe they're gonna get rid of one. And I remember like, are we even gonna like get the experience, or is something gonna happen right here?
That's a great
was
reference.
on my mind a little bit. And then when he said you're all going on a flight, one flight, two, I was like, all right, the worst that's gonna happen, which did happen, was that we'll be on the second flight.
Yeah. Thank God that wasn't part of this season, because all these teams, all of you guys are just amazing and so much fun to watch. When you left the start line, it seemed like you were one of the first teams to actually stop and ask for directions to the Biltmore Hotel. Rob and Corey showed up, Todd and Ashley, Annalie and Steve, they're like over, your shoulders getting directions too, but you guys were still the last team to leave. What was the holdup and why did it take so long to get those directions for you two?
Probably just, a little more thorough on the directions. And I think I want to just look at him one more time. I knew I was going to drive and he was going to navigate, but I just one more time to get the big picture. You see people get lost all the time.
Yeah.
I just figured like investing another like 1, 2, 3 max minutes just to get those specific directions up front could be a time save.
When we were getting on the freeway, we saw like other teams pulled over, like just they didn't show that, but like
it's always good to be thorough. But when you got to the roadblock, Sheridan, how was it doing that? It looked incredible, amazing views of LA, I'm sure, but also how long did it take for Todd to finally step in and say, I know the answer. If you let me cut the line, I'll give it to all of you. Like, how long do you feel like you were all there trying to figure out that puzzle?
I don't know how long it was. Like, I was just trying in a huge rush to like they showed me saying like, oh, like nice breeze up here. But I was in like a huge rush to like get across that thing. And then the thing that got my blood pumping was that the puzzle board, which was tricky. I thought that was hard. Couldn't use pen and paper on the clue. Like it was, or the clue said no pen and paper. And I was like, It was tough.
Choosing who did the roadblock was very fun to watch of you two. Is this a normal dynamic in your relationship? Oh, you choose. Is that like something that kind of happens a lot where like you're indecisive with who's going to choose?
I thought it was funny to see that.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
Obviously we're indecisive in answering the question. But it was just, it felt like such a big, like important decision.
Yeah.
It was our first roadblock, and you only get to see like a little bit about what, obviously, like
Right.
what it is, you don't get the full detail. And we're just trying to like, we know like an upper body thing should probably be Sheridan, because he's like stronger, and we're just trying to think like, is it that? Like, is it not that? Like, and we saw the, up there, like, are they, we just didn't quite know, so we're just giving it a little thought, maybe some early race nerves too.
Oh,
that's a learning curve.
I knew we were indecisive there, but I didn't. When I saw it, I was like, oh my god, they're still showing it. Oh my god, we're still deciding.
It's still going on.
The editing department caught our finer moments on that.
Now, when you all were in
so
Bangkok and you are part of the second flight, what was kind of going through your head? Was it kind of neck and neck with the second flight? Were you guys pretty even keeled throughout the rest of the leg?
We were right with the pack going from that Golden Buddha, and then we did a boat, and then we did a tuk-tuk. We were right. Everyone was like neck and neck. Yeah. And when we got to the detour box, we got there right as like Joe and Ian, Garrett and Joel, we all kind of got there right around the same time. Jeremy and Liam and Ileana and Liz were I knew there were two left, and I knew they were the two behind us. So I think we were kind of
I thought we
with
were
everyone with the pack until that detour, obviously.
Yeah. I felt like we were moving quickly through like getting like sort of finding things.
I saw some comments like, do they even know they were racing, or like they don't look like they're. First of all, if you're getting to the starting line of the Amazing Race, no one is putting the effort to get to the starting line of the Amazing Race. Go, I'm just gonna saunter on through this. Like, no,
valid point.
Absolutely going as fast as we, and yes, we're giving some thought to certain things, because and maybe a little indecisiveness, but like we were running around Thailand. Like, this was not some kind of casual stroll or whatever.
Well, viewers will never get the full scope of what a team's journey is on a given leg anytime they watch the show. It's so condensed. When you decided to do the sword part of the detour, what kind of played into your decision to make that choice?
Believe me, a million times over wish we had picked the spa day. Like, I've replayed this a million times. In that moment, I thought it was the right thing for us, and they showed like, I've done one massage, didn't love it. I would have endured it if I thought that was the right choice. But like in the details, it commented like there's going to be 5 stalls. If you need to stop, you need to give up your stall and start and start over. And I just envisioned like, giving up the stall, them all filling, and then waiting, and then being stuck. And the sword dance, like, you don't like, it could have been easier. It was quite hard. Jonian did great at it. It was just quite hard. And when I saw it, I was like, oh shoot, we made the right choice for us at that moment.
We didn't know also how long the
massage,
the spa day would like. I don't think the clue said how long it would be, and we knew we were on the second flight, and there was a limited number of bays there, so it like there could have been teams still lined up there, and we didn't know. And also, I'll just say, we love like when we watch the show, like those cultural things that they do. And like, I got to that park and I was like so fucking excited to like, I was so excited. Like, they had those like outfits, costumes, and like, there was like the music playing, and it was like a performance thing, and the swords, and like, I've never done martial arts before, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool.
If we're looking down on the Amazing Race, like very tragically early, I was like, at least this is so classic Amazing Race. We have dancing and this environment, and we've costumes, and like, we got it all.
I really love and appreciate your perspective and how you looked at it. Like, it's so true. Like, immersing yourself into those types of tasks on the Amazing Race is what makes the Amazing Race so amazing. Like Ashley even said on the show last night. I want to give you some praise while you were doing the detour. I loved how you just kept doing your attempts in front of the judge. It's kind of what we did when we did the Paraguay bottle dance. Why not just keep practicing in front of the judge with the case that maybe you will actually land?
That
was really smart to just keep doing it in front of the judge.
Hats off. We didn't have to give up our spot. Like, if you have to give up your spot, we would have had to go back to the practice area, but you're right. It was a heavy sword, which made me a little bit unsure. It was a little heavy. But you're right. Like
it looks heavier than the stick.
It was hard. It was heavier than the stick.
Yeah.
When you got to the pit stop, Alexandra, you said when Phil mentioned that you guys were the last team to check in, you said we thought so. What impression did you guys have thinking that you were going to be the last team checking in?
I knew I was pretty sure. Like that dance, we knew it took long. We had thought about, switching, and you got like, at what time was there a time point at which we could have switched and still not been last? Like, I don't know. Maybe. But when I realized how long it was taking us, and then the only thing that gave
we thought we maybe would see another team show up.
The only thing that maybe gave me a little hope was when we were taking a taxi to the pit stop. It was farther than I thought. Like, we're not sure if it was 30, 40, 50 minutes, but like it was not close. So like maybe someone could mess up getting there. But I was like pretty sure. They didn't show, but like in the taxi, I was just crying because I knew.
And in my mind, I was like, oh, we didn't do anything like catastrophically wrong. Like, we clearly picked the wrong thing. We picked the wrong detour for us.
Yeah, it's what I thought in the moment. But
like,
I get it was wrong.
Just the other teams, ran a great leg then, and we made our own mistake.
My last question for you before we wrap things up. You talked about how you share an apartment in Chicago. You both work at the same consulting firm. Is there something that you both learned about each other that you maybe didn't know before going on to The Amazing Race?
Sheridan's maintaining a sense of just like calm and like, we can do this. Like when we're doing that sword dance, and just being so positive and optimistic when I was more frantic and less positive in that kind of situation. That's something I never saw before. When we got back from the race, back to Chicago, Sheridan stopped talking to me for a few days, which was fine. I like kind of understood. But now that's done. Now we have like shared experience, like the highest of highs and really lowest of lows too. And it is and we got to experience the Amazing Race shorter than we wanted, obviously. But this is like a bond, something that bonds us that we didn't have before.
We'll always have 13th place, and the only teams to have that.
Oh my God,
special.
You two are so great. I loved your enthusiasm. I loved how much you appreciated The Amazing Race. I really can't stress that enough. It's like, again, as a fan to another fan, like just watching you two was an absolute joy. No regrets, like you said. We adore you too.
We adore you both. We are so grateful to have had that kind of experience, that kind of adventure and opportunity. Like, we're just like kind of a couple of schmoes. Like, we love the show, and we've kind of been inspired to go places as a result of seeing like where the show has gone. Such a like incredible thing to be part of that.
Also, on your earlier video, thank you for saying they're like cute and fun and nice and fun. I'd be friends with.
Of course. Hopefully we will meet in the near future. Yeah. I'm sure our paths will cross. Yeah. And seriously, welcome to The Amazing Race family, you two.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course. Talk soon.